Uncanny X-Men #1. This is actually the 620th issue of Uncanny X-Men in the history of Uncanny X-Men. Now, there currently was so many X-Men books. So this one kind of takes over X-Men Black, X-Men Gold, X-Men Red, and also there was a Multiple Man miniseries. So all those series kind of now lead into this Uncanny X-Men book. Now, this first issue was super, super long. We have 3 writers on it: Ed Brisson, Matthew Rosenberg, and Kelly Thompson, and the page count is a lot. There's over 60 pages in this, maybe 70 pages. There are also tons of variant covers. Just look at some of these covers. There's so many variant covers. Way too many. Now, I found out that this Uncanny X-Men book is going to be coming out every single week for the next 10 weeks. New book every week. That is way too many books. Frankly, when a series comes out every week, it's really hard to keep up that level of quality and be entertaining throughout. So I have very worried expectations for this new Uncanny X-Men run, but I'm going to be interested to see what they do with it. Now, I've been dropping off the X-Men a bit. I haven't been reading it as consistently as I once was, so I'm kind of interested with this new Uncanny X-Men run to really dive back into it. Now, this first issue was not that great. It didn't really start off in the best footing, in my opinion. So the storyline in this issue, it opens up that Kitty Pryde is missing and everybody is concerned. Then there is this younger group of X-Men and they are in this jet, and this jet appears to crash. I think everyone was okay, but some people are a little bit injured. And then we go over to the senator who is talking about some sort of mutant vaccine. The vaccine only works on children before the mutant gene activates in them, and it blocks that gene from activating, thereby stopping them from becoming a mutant. Now, the idea of a mutant vaccine is something that we've seen played out in the X-Men many, many, many times before. This is a storyline we've seen tons of times. In fact, Jubilee basically in this issue addresses that fact, and she says, "Oh boy, I feel like I've seen this speech a million times, Bishop. When are they going to just let it go already? And why does it always feel like the same boring politician in a suit giving it? These are excellent questions, Jubilation," Bishop says. So yeah, then why even write this storyline if the writers are going to acknowledge the fact that they are just repeating themselves? So after the senator gives this speech, Jamie Madrox decides to take over and speak on behalf of the mutants. Now, apparently Kitty Pryde was supposed to do this, but Kitty Pryde is missing, so Jamie sort of volunteers himself for this. And Jamie's speech, I guess, is supposed to be kind of funny and weird and not really that moving, but it's hard to really follow what he was saying. And then for some reason, there was like 100 Jamie Madroxes at the back of this crowd just fighting for no reason I didn't really understand. And then there's all sorts of commotion and fighting going on. And then all of a sudden, that senator gets teleported out of this whole scene. And then he shows up at this other area where he is being held captive. And then we see Kitty Pryde there, as well as we see Apocalypse. And Apocalypse looks like he is also being held captive. And Apocalypse says, "Our captors have earned the wrath of Apocalypse today. Don't be so quick to join them, human." And then this book has some backup stories. One is about Bishop, and he meets Dark Beast and Sugarman. I'm not too familiar with 90s X-Men lore, so I'm not really too familiar with these characters. Then we got some sort of subplot with Jean Grey in some restaurant, and she gets attacked. And then we have this other group of young X-Men, and they're fighting in the sewers. And then at the end, all these groups kind of come together, and their stories converge, and they're fighting in the street. And yeah, I could have done without these backups. They didn't really add much to the overall story for me. So I'm going to give this issue a 6 out of 10. I really don't think it was that good, but I'm going to see how they're going to do this over the next few issues. But I just know myself. I'm probably going to drop off this book. Do you really think they have 10 issues worth of story to be coming every week? And these writers are okay, but I'm not really that enthralled by them, so I don't know how they're going to carry it through. I also don't know how good the art is going to be if they're doing a new book every week. I'm sure they have a rotating team of artists, but I have really low expectations for this. I just don't know how it's going to be, but I'm definitely going to give it a chance.